I'm Greg, and I'm with Gerry Foster at James Donaldson Park. This is our 4th show in the big preview series for the Grand Forks Invitational Baseball Tournament, and we're really excited because it's on. It's starting right now. By the time you could be watching this, games could be going on as we speak, so it's very exciting. We're going to talk about 3 more of the teams that are going to be in the tournament, and we're going to talk about a few other things. And basically, we're going to start off with Team Canada, Gerry. They've come here for a number of years now, and so tell us a little bit about Team Canada. Who are they going to be this year?
Well, of course, the University of British Columbia Thunderbirds, and they have Canada's only full-fledged college program, and that's why a few years ago I started calling them Canada's college team. Terry McCaig's done an outstanding job resurrecting that program in the late 90s, and they've produced some wonderful ball players. And they've got a kid coming, just finished high school, of course, and he's chosen to go to UBC's from just outside of Denver, Colorado, Littleton High School.
Yeah.
And he has outstanding credentials. He's accomplished a lot in high school. They're MVP there in their varsity team. And I'm looking forward to meeting him and seeing him play. They've actually, I just found this out about 2 days ago, another new recruit, and he's to be here in Grand Forks, is the son of the Toronto Blue Jays clubhouse manager. So there's a little tidbit for you.
Good baseball pedigree there.
Yeah, just found that out the other day.
Excellent. So now we'll move on to another team who we discussed a little earlier off camera. There's and I mentioned a name, Lou Giacchetti. He's a guy who played for this team for years, and people around town hear the name and they remember it because they heard it over these loudspeakers so many times. He played for the Trail Orioles, and this is a team that always gives you a shock. You always think, oh, well, okay, Trail, okay, let's hope they can put up a good fight, but they do. They always give us a good run.
They do, and I remember one game, it was a night game, and they were playing the Chicago Prairie Gravel, who always came with a solid team, as you would know, Greg. And they played 3 extra innings. And it was just an unbelievable game. The excitement, the buzz in the crowd, a huge crowd that evening, and they put on a great show. I mean, that was years ago, and here I'm still talking about it. So, no, we look forward to seeing them for sure.
And of course, the rounding out all of the teams we've talked about throughout the 4 weeks here is going to be the home team this year. They're called the Grand Forks Blues, and what are we going to see from them? Well,
last year, of course, was their first experience of the GFI, and they came in very late to fill in, and the GFI organizing team certainly appreciated them doing that. This year, of course, they knew they were going to be in this tournament, so they're bringing some players in and they're practicing a lot more, and I think that now they'll be certainly more ready than they would have been, last year.
Okay, because definitely in the early years, they actually had local boys on the Grand Forks team in the first few years. I mean, we had guys like Rick McLean, John Seminoff, all played on those teams. And then it went to, I believe, they were called the Grand Forks Gold.
The Grand Forks Gold, right, and they did well. That's the team that did well. I think back-to-back years they
were in the final one year. I believe they were Portland Taylor Electric. They were a semi-pro team out of Portland that they became the Grand Forks Gold for a while, and then I think did it fade for a little while?
It did fade, and it was, even when there were 16 teams, there wasn't a Grand Forks team for many years. Well, first of all, there wasn't a team based here to begin with, and so as you alluded to, Greg, you had to build the team from outside, bring somebody in to coach, and then he'd bring players in, and then they'd go under the name Grand Forks, whatever, and there have been different teams over the years. But certainly what needs to happen is for the crowd to come out, support them, encourage them, and stand behind them. That's the most important thing to do for this team right now.
Definitely. So that's all the teams for the tournament. The table is set. We're going to be, as you're watching this, the tournament is going on as we speak. And so I'm going to ask you, I got 2 questions for you, Gerry, for this last show. Okay, the first question is, who is your favorite for this year? Who do you think, it's tough because we haven't seen a lot of the teams before, we don't know their rosters, but given history and the educated guess, who would you say has a chance of walking away with it all?
Well, whenever I think of that leading up to a GFI, and I can't answer that without at least mentioning the Seattle Studs, because they have a phenomenal record. They won this year in Kelowna. They won in Kamloops again. They're in Wichita even as we speak. And we'll see, we look back and see what they did. But they just know how to build a team, and they know how to find players, and they know what to expect. And they find this a very attractive tournament because $43,000 in prize money, $18,000 to the winner, means a lot to their program. So but you know, with San Diego coming again, and then LC State and Lewiston,
you
never count them
out.
And but I think we may see 2 or 3 surprises. Of course, I think all of us will be interested to see how Australia makes out. Their first time, this team in North America. I mean, this is certainly an exciting time for them. They are so looking forward to being here, and we'll see how the week plays out.
I love it when the international teams come in, because there always is that question mark: Are they going to be great? Are they going to be, are they going to be amazing? Are they going to be shocked by the talent here? It's always that big question. It's always exciting, and it's always fun to find out. So the action starts, depending on when you're watching this, it's going to start August 31st, Wednesday. First game's at 1:30, but it's going all the way till Monday, September the 5th. And there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 games a day leading up to Monday, when there'll be 3 games, because those are the championship games. But where can they go to get tickets if they're last minute? Where can they go?
They can still, right now, having that the tournament's underway, pick them up at the ballpark. Just come to the front gate and get a pass, or if you want to go game by game. But the pass is so convenient. Speaking from experience, the pass is the way to go, because you don't have to go stand in line again to get back into games. It's the best way to go. So we got an email, because we forgot something in our 3rd episode. We forgot to answer the age-old question: who is the best Major League player to come out of the GFI? Well, I guess you have to go for one of the Canadians, and I would have to say Larry Walker, because of what he accomplished. I mean, when you look at some of his stats, I mean, he didn't just hit 310 or 315. He was up in the 340, 350, 360 range. It's insane. And hit home runs and RBIs. But his play in the field was outstanding. I mean, he was a 5-tool baseball star.
He won Gold Gloves. He was on All-Star teams. He won the MVP. I don't think anybody, well, we'll talk about Lincecum in a second, but I don't think any field player that played in this tournament won an MVP. I know the only player that I could think of in terms of a field player that you could mention in the same breath as Larry Walker would be John Olerud.
Yes, for sure.
Who had one season that was, he could have won I think he finished 2nd in All-Star in MVP voting, where I think he batted 380. It was in that range. He flirted with 400 for over half the season. But definitely Larry Walker is the greatest. But pitching, as we said, we talked off camera, it's tough to compare pitching to hitting, but we do have a pitcher who came through here who's one of the best pitchers going today.
Well, for sure, and I mean, 2 pitchers come to mind when you think of a GFI alumni, and one is Josh Beckett, which is a story in itself, and the second one is Tim Lincecum. And Josh Beckett was the World Series MVP in 2003. I mean, there you go. I mean, isn't that something? But then along comes Tim Lincecum, who played here in 2004. And he wins back-to-back Cy Young awards, which goes to the top pitcher in this case with the National League, and they do it in the American League. But that is rarely done. Rarely done. So and he's led the league in strikeouts for 2 or 3 years at least, the National League. So he's having a great career with San Francisco Giants. And, well, he's got a World Series now.
Tell me about it. I'm a Rangers
trophy
fan.
on his mantle there. Yeah, I know. Well, so
it hurts.
So it's tough. We'll just see how their careers play out, Greg, because right now, I mean, they've both had, they've accomplished a lot in the time they've been in the majors.
Definitely. So the great thing about this question is the question will always be debated, because we could be seeing a player this week that we could be talking about 10 years from now.
We could be. We could be, because we forget that when we watch these players, we can say, okay, 34 alumni, those who have played in the GFI have gone to the majors, and right. But when they were here, yes, some came with good credentials and that, but first of all, you've got to get drafted. You've got to make your way up, through the minor ranks, and then get to the majors finally. And, so many athletes, baseball players included, don't make it, maybe because of injuries and other reasons. So there are a lot of variables, and so it's pretty tough to sit here and watch and say, gosh, that guy's good, possibly someday. But I think that we could be, I would think that we would be watching someone going to make it to the major leagues.
Oh, for sure. And last question before we go here. Can you, and I know I'm putting you on the spot here, Gerry, so don't feel bad if you can't answer. Can you tell me, who do you think is the single best one-off team that you've ever seen in the GFI? The best single team. Whether it be a Lewiston team from a certain year. I know my answer.
Yes. Well, there were one or two Astros teams. They came first of all as the Houston Astros, but then really they were based in Reno, and they were flying players in even on Saturdays, Greg. Yeah. And they're the ones that brought Josh Beckett here in 1997, and he would have brought him back in '99 if he hadn't signed. So outstanding hitting, outstanding pitching. They were a team that came with swagger.
Yes.
And they were an awesome bunch and a powerful team. But, we wouldn't want to dismiss some of those great Japanese teams.
Exactly. I know we're going a little long here on this show, but it's the final show before the tournament, so I just wanted to talk. I will say, and I guess I can't think of the exact year, but it was early 90s, but that LA Rangers team, I think we talked about, it was either this week or last week. They came in here one year, and they were quiet. They didn't come in here cocky like some teams do, like some New York teams from the past I can remember who came here cocky and got their tails smacked. These guys came in here, they did their business, and they won every game handily. And that, I think, is the single best ball team I've ever seen in this ballpark. And
you may be right, Greg, because they went about their business. That's right. They came to play ball, and they fundamentally sound. And there's been so many good teams, great teams here, that just at the moment, it's tough to just pick one out of the air.
Hey, the best part about it, Gerry, is that you may see that best team this year right here at the GFI.
That's right. And another great thing about your question is we struggle with it a bit, and if I'm thinking, well, this team, maybe that just shows you that there have been a lot of good teams here.
Exactly.
Otherwise, you'd just be saying, no question.
Yeah, it was that Bing, team. But you can't do that. Any team you're going to name, it's arguably this team.
That's right. You could have an argument over that. No, I think it was this team, that team.
Well, Gerry, I can't wait to sit down and watch a ball game with you this year. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Looking forward to it.
And we want to thank you for joining us here on whatsupgf.com. Of course, you can go to the website of the GFI, which is
GrandForksBaseball.com.
And of course, we'll have updates and things. We've got the schedule on the website, whatsupgf.com. We've got everything you need to know, the links to Gerry's website, to our website. It's all there, whatsupgf.com. We want to thank you for joining us the past few weeks.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Gerry. That was a lot of fun.
Been fun. It's been great. A blast.
We'll see you guys at the ballpark.
Baseball players. 7 innings. It was insane.